Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Right off the bat, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you, our valued listeners, for dedicating your time to join us today. I'm absolutely pumped to share this breakdown with you, mostly because we are looking at something that is fundamentally shifting how we think about the cars we drive.
And as a reward for your time today, we're diving straight into the fascinating evolution of the BYD Seal 06. We're going to unpack exactly what happens when an automaker decides that, well, a basic restyling just isn't going to cut it. We'll be looking at the radical design changes, the tech, the honestly mind-boggling numbers, and ultimately what all of this means for the future of the auto industry.
So, to set the stage, think about it like this. The 2026 model was fantastic for high-value basic transport, right? Getting you from point A to point B safely. But the 2027 model, it completely flips the script. It reimagines the car as a wellness-centric environment. It's really no longer just about the destination, it's about supporting your lifestyle, your comfort, and your safety the entire time you're in transit.
To truly grasp the stakes here, you just have to look at this number, 500,000. BYD sold over 500,000 units of the Seal 06 last year. 500,000? That is a massive footprint. So, deciding to do a complete ground-up overhaul for 2027, that makes this upgrade incredibly high stakes. This definitely isn't an experiment. It's a very calculated bid to take a highly successful platform and push it into a totally new tier. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, a new visual identity. We're going to look at the physical transformation of the Seal 06.
When you look at the baseline versus the upgrade, the physical growth is super obvious. They added an extra 15 centimeters in length, bringing it to 4.87 meters, which means it's no longer just a standard compact sedan, it now has the imposing proportions of a true executive car. Plus, shifting from zero Lidar in 2026 to a fully integrated roof Lidar in 2027 completely changes the car's silhouette, signaling right away that this thing is high-tech and ready for advanced autonomy.
But it goes beyond just the physical dimensions. We have to talk about this striking new extreme green, or verde polare, paint job. It makes a really bold statement. And that closed front-end design you see, that's not just for looks, it actually drastically improves driving stability. Pair that with an aerodynamic 0.25 drag coefficient, and you're guaranteed a whisper-quiet, incredibly efficient ride that cuts down on wind noise and directly reduces driver fatigue. It's basically aerodynamic wellness in action. Moving along to Section 2, the ultimate executive lounge. Let's explore this wellness-first approach to the interior. Okay, let's actually step inside the cabin because wow, the narrative shifts completely to a restorative, sensory experience. You've got this massive 15.6-inch AI screen that acts as the cockpit's central nervous system, predicting your climate and media preferences. You've got 10-point massage seats with heating and ventilation. And yes, you're seeing that right, an integrated mini fridge that can go anywhere from -6 to 50 degrees Celsius. Wrap all of that in a premium rock gray material palette that actively dampens cabin noise, and you have a space that turns a grueling traffic jam into a literal recovery session.
Now for Section 3, brains, brawn, and battery. This is where high-tier performance meets intelligent safety.
240. Power output sees a massive and honestly kind of intimidating jump. We're going from the 2026 maximum of 160 kilowatts all the way up to an aggressive 240 kilowatts. For anyone transitioning from a standard gas car to an EV, 240 kilowatts of instant electric torque sounds a little scary, right? The potential for a jerky, uncomfortable ride is definitely there with that much brawn. So, how do they tame that 240 kilowatt brawn? Enter BYD's secret sauce, the DiPilot C intelligent damping system. This system actually adjusts the suspension's stiffness in real time. It smooths out the learning curve by completely preventing that famous EV jerkiness, making sure the ride stays composed and executive-level smooth, no matter how heavy your foot gets. It's an incredible milestone where high-tier performance and beginner-friendly safety finally meet.
And on the safety front, we're seeing a crucial shift from reactive hardware to proactive prevention. They've upgraded from the God's Eye C system to the God's Eye B system, fully supported by the DiPilot 5.0 suite. What this means in plain English is that it uses that new roof-mounted LiDAR to let the vehicle actually see its surroundings in 3D. The car isn't just reacting to a crash anymore, it's an intelligent partner actively working to prevent one from ever happening.
2,370 kilometers. Just let that sink in.
That is the jaw-dropping maximum combined range for the plug-in hybrid DMI model when it's fully fueled and fully charged. Think about that for a second. That is literally cross-country road trip territory without even needing to think about stopping for gas or a charge. It's absolutely wild.
Whether you opt for the pure electric model, which reaches up to 630 kilometers on its second-gen blade battery, or the hybrid offering, up to 320 kilometers purely on electric mode before the gas even kicks in, the numbers are just stellar. But are you ready for the real kicker? This vehicle is delivering all this unprecedented autonomy and luxury at an incredibly accessible starting price of around $14,000 in China. To get this level of tech, space, and range at that price point, it's practically unheard of.
Which brings us to Section 4, Going Global, European Expansion. Let's talk about the Seal 6 DMI arriving in Europe. So, launched in Europe on September 2nd, the hybrid sedan was rebranded simply as the Seal 6 DMI. But they didn't just bring the sedan over. Nope, they introduced a highly spacious wagon variant called the Seal 6 DMI Touring. BYD is clearly poising these vehicles to redefine family outings and business travel across the continent, adapting perfectly to the European taste for versatile, roomy estate cars.
1,535. That's the cargo capacity in liters when you fold down the rear seats in that touring variant. It easily blows past its sedan peers. If you're planning a massive family camping trip or you need to haul bulky equipment for work across the Alps, this vehicle has the physical footprint to make all of that entirely effortless.
By offering a 105-kilometer pure electric range for your daily city commutes and over 1,500 kilometers of combined range for those long European road trips, BYD is making a very strong point here. As their executive vice president Stella Lee noted, they are proving that users can enjoy the snappy, quiet fun of electric driving without any of the traditional range anxiety. It really caters to virtually every single multi-scenario usage need you could throw it at it.
And finally, Section 5, the future of mobility. A calculated bid for global dominance.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder. If a vehicle this advanced, featuring integrated Lidar, AI-driven wellness features, and literally thousands of kilometers of range, is the new baseline, and at an incredibly accessible price point, how in the world would legacy automakers possibly keep pace in the coming years? It's a thrilling time for the automotive industry and a huge win for consumers. Thank you so much for exploring this with us today. Keep learning, stay curious, and we will definitely catch you next time.